Today I'm reminded of a time when I was in middle school and I was playing football. And just in case any of you out there are geographically challenged, that's American football, with basically a rugby ball made out of pigskin and stitches because Americans have scars that don't heal because we love to fight. It just used to be a lot more manly and pro-American in the before time. Not really sure what you'd call the, style of fighting we do now. I don't know. Disney wishful thinking, maybe? Anyway, back to the story. So I'm playing football, and I go out for the old catch. A beautiful pass, and I jump up to catch it, and it hits me square between the pinky and whatever that, I guess a ring finger, right? Yeah, between those two fingers, and split them wide open. My pinky went a little past 90 degrees, and sure enough broke, and got the cast put on it, and let's just fast forward. I finally get the cast off, and immediately decide to play football again. And this time it's just with my friend down the street, and he's got a Nerf football, so I figured, it's soft, it should be fine. Sure enough, same exact thing happens, and this time, instead of breaking where the finger connects to the hand there, it broke at the knuckle just above. So now I've got two spots where playing football broke my same pinky finger on my left hand there. And now I got this janky looking finger, which later, with the motorcycle incident that I talked about in a previous episode, I don't remember, I think it was number 2 or 3, something like that. Anyway, so now all 3 of those little knuckle joints are broken. But in particular, when it comes to football, I think, looking back, sometimes the universe will let you know one time, this is not for you, and then if you don't listen, it'll let you know again, and then if you don't listen that time, it might kill you. So be careful out there. Listen to the universe. It knows what you need.
Mailman podcast coming to you. M-A-L-E coming to you. Talking about Minnesota internet. If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman podcast coming to you. M-A-L-E coming to you. Ooh.
All right, here we are on the Mailman Podcast. I'm your host, Dick Colin, and that's M-A-L-E, man, for men after legitimate estrogen-free masculine approaches to the nowadays. And I'm testing out some new stuff with the sound, so hopefully that works out. But something interesting happened over the almost the weekend, but definitely in this past month, so in March. That was really unexpected coming up for me, and I guess I'll do some background information on that before we get into it. So I was basically off the grid in a lot of ways for maybe a decade, something like that. And in entertainment wise, or I guess in a lot of ways, I guess I just got bored from a lot of things. So I think if anybody's seen that Minecraft movie that they just made, so I think case in point on that one. Yeah, just look at a picture of it. Just because something looks retarded doesn't mean it's going to be funny or entertaining. So I guess that's where I was when it comes to entertainment. So I just kind of stopped watching stuff, stuck to the old iPod and the old catalog of movies and DVDs and so on. Lots of anger at stuff as well going on there. Maybe that's a conversation for another time. But I feel like I was pretty detached for the better part of a decade, maybe two. There's a lot of drinking in there, and also I'll get into that for sure in a later episode when it makes a little bit more sense. And yeah, you burn a lot of bridges, and I feel like maybe in my case I might have burnt the universe to the crisp core to where I can build back up again. And when I reconnected myself to the Mai Tais, yeah, there was a lot of Mai Tais mixed with other Mai Tais and things. But yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun for it. Yeah, we'll get into that at a different time, but because there's definitely some funny stories in there. And but yeah, so I reconnected, to the Matrix, as you would, and I was listening to a band on repeat, essentially, with the 1, 2, 3, 4 albums. I think I think 4 albums is what I had on my iPod at the time. So I was just listening to that over and over and over again, and clicking back into the universe. This year, I guess the end of last year, I started talking to my friend about it, and found out that they made like, I don't know, 6 more albums or something crazy. They made a lot of songs, for sure. And I've been backlogging myself and backtracking, not backlogging there, going back on the darkness, and that's what I'm going to start talking about now, and then later tie it into something else. But yeah, so I essentially refound the darkness, found out that they've been, as he says in Walking Through Fire, one of the songs on the new album, they never stopped making hit albums. People just stopped buying them. So, and that's exactly what happened. The last one I bought from the darkness was The Last of Their Kind, and then that's kind of about the time that I disconnected from the rest of the world. And then coming back, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole bunch of stuff to go back through, which is awesome. And then I find out that they're coming out with a new album, which is awesome, by the way, and I'm going to talk about that in particular. But I definitely wanted to give that background. Like, it's like I've been out of the loop for so long that I am so excited to have the darkness essentially reinvigorated into my iPod collection, because yes, I did add it to my iTunes, or whatever it's called now, so I could add it to my iPod. So I also was planning to make a review about the darkness just in general on my other channel, Hard On Reviews, shout out. And I'll go ahead and pull that up on the screen so y'all can at least see what the hell I'm talking about there. And I think it came out really great. I highly recommend it. What is going on here? All right. And there it is. So we'll just let that go for a little bit in the background because it is mine, so I don't have to worry about it. But what the hell's that? All right, YouTube. Get out of there. All right, there we go. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so the darkness. They've got Dreams on Toast. I'll pull that picture up after I get done talking about stuff. But was super excited about that coming out, so I decided to do that review to connect with that timeline there, because I also found out that they're coming out with the documentary next month. It took me so long to get this review done because I was trying to gain access to that documentary. It's available in the UK, so I went through all kinds of channels. I was legitimately trying to pay for it and get access to it so I could actually use that for so I get my details right. I don't want to say things that aren't actually true. So I was going to use that for this, but I was unable to get it in any means. We'll just leave it at that. So I just kind of had to leave it up to old style journalism and running through a bunch of stuff. But I was able to get it there just in time, I think the day before the new album release on the 28th, which was awesome. And yeah, every album is rocking for sure with the darkness. There, you cannot go wrong with any of the albums. The interesting thing about The Darkness is that I think that so they had they had 2 albums before. I think Hot Cakes was the 3rd one, and I feel like from Hot Cakes onward is where they just really started experimenting with each album they came out with. Based on what I've been catching up on, it seems like every album with The Darkness, they're all a package deal. So they're gonna have some bangers for sure that are on their own. With the Dreams on Toast, the new album, I think everybody could agree that Rock and Roll Party Cowboy is definitely awesome on its own for sure. And then Walking Through Fire, absolutely. That's solid gold. They say they can't stop shitting out solid gold, and I agree. And but I do think they're better as the album, and that's what I mean. But with the Darkness is definitely a package deal every time they come out with an album, which is a rare and beautiful thing. And I think a lot of artists really don't put in the effort to tell a story, not just with their songs, but which they a lot of times don't. It's just a bunch of jibberjash, like nonsense that sounds catchy. It's cool, it's very very nice on the ears, but there's no story behind it. There's no life. There's no feeling. And I feel like with The Darkness, you can get that through the individual songs for sure. Even with something as ridiculous, they just showed up, or I just showed up on there on the screen with Friday Night. There's still a story in there. There's trying to get the girl, not quite getting her, and that kind of stuff. So there's always a story with The Darkness, but I think that story is much better told in a album form when it comes to The Darkness, and this one in particular. So I think what they essentially did here is, I think they wrote a musical. It's really what it feels like, and I love it. The more I listen to it, the more I love it, and I'm glad that they put it as a playlist on on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, because that allows me to basically have access to it anywhere I go. And then on my phone itself, I've got it on the iPad there. So if for whatever reason or iPod, not iPad. I think I said iPad. Anyway, get your hands off of my woman, motherfucker. What did you spell that? That's kind of what it sounds like when he says. I love that song, man. That song rocks, man. That is a jam right there. But it's always a package deal, and I think what they did here is they wrote a musical, and it's this album is like about a life lived for sure, maybe like reflection on past events, even I don't know, the search for something, whether that be man's search or what, but and kind of like a little bit of on the modern times. I think they definitely had a plan with this album. I mean, from the artwork, it's clearly like an 80s kind of vibe there. And I really feel like there is a mix of a lot of influences throughout this. I mean, they go from country to clearly like 80s style, like not really pop, but it's in there. Like I want to say like Back to the Future soundtrack-ish. Kind of sounds in there. There's punk rock. It's just a conglomerate of awesome songs, and some of them are like the one that's up there, Walking Through Fire. That is, you can listen to that a million times and never get tired of that song. That being said, it is so much better in line on the album, and I guess speaking of bangers there, right? So I think as far as like this Dreams on Toast album goes, the bangers for sure are going to be Rock and Roll Party Cowboy. I mean, if that isn't a number one hit for like the next decade in America, I'm not sure if I have any faith in in being an American. Yeah, we gotta get that rocking back. You know, I want that to be blaring on some NASCAR on every channel. Yeah, it just taking over. Just do it. And then like, I Hate Myself. I mean, that is just a rad freaking song. It's a little awkward you're listening with the windows down, but it has such a badass tune, and that video is really interesting. It's kind of hard to watch because he's looking at you right in the eyes, smoking his little decorum, whatever kind of cigarette that is. But I love it. I think that's one of the bangers for sure. Mortal Dread. I was really excited when I first heard the kind of the rumbling and then getting into that song, because I was like, oh yes, man, this is what I was expecting here. And then of course Walking Through Fire. That is like I said, that's a instant classic. I think that's gonna be one of those songs that's gonna go across the what do you call that, boundaries. It's gonna tick all those boxes that Disney keeps trying to tick, for sure. all those, whatever they're called, are certainly gonna enjoy that song, because if you don't like Walking Through Fire, yeah, there's something wrong with you. You gotta go to the doctor, get checked out. Yeah, you need medical attention for sure. But I think an honorable mention for like the bangers, and I'm talking about like the songs that are just on their own. If you heard it, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. I think an honorable mention would be the Battle for Gadgetland. I really like that song. I think it's really interesting in comparison to the rest of the album. And like the placement of these songs, I think it's the order is really done well. And that one kind of, it's interesting that comes after, and this is why I think it's really trying to tell a story throughout the entire song. We got the Longest Kiss, which is very darkness. All the songs are really darkness, but coming right after this, the Battle for Gadgetland. And it's almost like, to me, it kind of reads like, you meet the girl and then you get back on Facebook, and then, now you're getting into trouble land and looking on YouTube and red tubes and all those things. And then very next song, you got Cold Hearted Woman, right? So, maybe the lady friend is out there looking at dudes on the internet. You know how they go cold, they go silent. And then when you're all broken up, boom, they explode out on the internet like some kind of colony of squirrels going out for nuts or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's what I feel like is going on in this album. It's rock and roll party cowboy, just this dude out there getting after it and being a man and having a good time, and then I don't know, doing some things maybe that he regrets, and then maybe loses his woman, and that's where we get into like I Hate Myself. So you don't have to, in the lyrics too. We got to get into that later. But then kind of also get into you've lost the woman, getting into the reflection there, and then Hot on My Tail, right? He's kind of talking about getting into the recognizing that there's something going on, and then I don't know, maybe like coming out on the back end and realizing a lot of your life is already gone, and maybe you wasted it. Mortal Dread, mortality, coming to realization there with that. And then when you're a man and you kind of get into that man's search for meaning, not necessarily the book, but man, if you haven't read that, you owe it to yourself to do that. And like the next project for yourself is to read that book. But just that context of like man's search for meaning, and I feel like that's where we get into like don't need sunshine, right? Like I don't need a woman to be a man or something like that. I've got the lyrics here, but even with my glasses, they are tiny because I refuse to open the LP, the record. Jesus, forgot what they were called. The vinyl. Until I get a record player, and I'm gonna do some research, and that's probably looking at like next year or something, which is kind of cool. I think that's gonna be awesome to wait for that. But at the moment, I can barely read this font on this CD booklet, but I'll try for some of these lyrics that I think stood up. But yeah, anyway, getting into don't need no woman, and then what do we got? Dare I say the darkness are the clash of rock and roll? Yeah, I think so, man. They're top tier, man. They're like I think I mentioned this on my unboxing thing where you've got like Steel Panther, which is it's fun, it's good music, it's clearly funny, but the darkness, man, unless you're paying attention, they're sneaky. They like you're gonna be jamming out, and then you're like. Get your hands off of my woman, motherfucker, or like maybe when he's talking about like ping pong on Wednesday, and like what did he just say? But yeah, they're real sneaky because they're so good. Like it's not exactly clear that there's some funny stuff in there, and I'll actually get into that a little bit later because my favorite song on the album. I'll bring that up in a minute. But yeah, so we get into don't need no woman to be a man, and then suddenly when you're not looking for the woman, you find her, right? And then we get into the longest kiss, right? And so now he's met that woman, and he's had this amazing interaction with her. Everything's going awesome, and then that's when I was talking about when we get into that Battlefield Gadget Land. And it's kind of like, oh well, maybe did she find the internet and get bored of you, and now she's going rogue and keeping you in the silence and the distance. She's got one of those if you've ever been to Japan, they've got this like giant man-sized tang, like if you're playing shuffleboard, but it's like it looks like that, but it's really big, and it's so they can like hold people back, like drunkards and stuff. Like so like if you're being obnoxious, they just kind of like put this stick around you, and you can't do anything about it. But anyway, it's like it's like the woman is like kind of got one of those things on you, and you're trying to get to her, but she's like, no, not tonight. I've got a cold sore, or I don't know, herpes. Okay, and keeping her distance and not paying attention. Well, that's because she's talking to dudes on the side in Gadget Land there, and probably a little as well. And who knows? Maybe you're getting it too, but you're damn tootin' that she's getting at it as well. And that was kind of cool, so I'm gonna keep that going. Hang on. No, what are you doing? Why are you loading? No, that's not what I wanted. Why are you doing this to me? All right, fine. I'll keep it there. Actually, no. I'm gonna pull up fuck it. I can't figure out how to do this. I was trying to pull up the album artwork here, and give me a second. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, but I'll get back to it. Dreams on Toast, yeah. On Toast. I'm trying to get a picture of this thing so y'all can see the album, what I'm talking about. Damn it. Why are all these things so stupid? All right, let's do that one. Yeah, let's do that. Please just be a picture. Okay. Oh my God, I hate the internet. Yeah, you used to, back in the day, you used to be able to just pull up a picture and that was it, right? Wasn't that a thing? If I remember correctly. I've lost my oh, here we go. Sorry, I lost where my stuff was. There we go. That's good enough. Fuck it. Anyway. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So the chick's, she's going down on dudes like all over town. Taking trips out of the country to do that too. That happens sometimes. Going to the Moai statues, probably going down on them too. That's what's happened. That's how Gadgetland works, man. You gotta be careful out there. It works the other way too. You gotta be careful as a dude with Gadgetland. You won't ever need a woman, as the song says, and don't need no sunshine. Don't need sunshine. Sunshine. I speak English well. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's where we are in Gadgetland. She goes and does some crazy stuff, and then we come up with Cold-Hearted Woman. And man, that is as an American that actually does like to listen to country from time to time. Growing up with my mom loving Randy Travis there, which that's actually one of my favorites as well. Some Alan Jackson, Gone Country. I think he's the one that sings that. And then obviously, the old stuff, George Jones and what have yous from my dad's time. And I think they did a pretty good job on this one. I think Hot on My Tail is a great song, but I think Cold-Hearted Woman for me, as far as the two relatively country ones go, that one, I think that's a beautiful song, man. I think you hit it. I also love that he didn't try to do like a voice on there, which I think wouldn't have worked like at all. So I think that worked out really well, and that's certainly one of my list of songs that I really enjoyed. List of songs. One of the songs I really enjoyed on the album, in particular. And then, so we got the Cold-Hearted Woman, and then we got, now that situation's over, he's going back to the roots. He's like, the one thing that I'm good at, the one thing that I can rely on is good old rock and roll. And I think that's where we get into Walking Through Fire. And because clearly the music industry, or whatever you want to call it, and rock and roll is I don't know what it is. Like, there's some really good stuff out there. Me and my friend out there, we talk about Ghost a lot. That's not really rock and roll, but it's like good new music, I think, is what I mean by that. But like, just good old fashioned rock and roll is really hard to come by, and I think The Darkness is certainly from like a decade ago, last of their kind, and still making quality stuff. And to kind of go off of that, they are, what are they right now? They were, let me pull up who sent this to me, because it was a Brit on my video, and I want to give him a shout out here. Oh yeah, here we go. So Just Another Gamer 1985 sent me a message saying that given that they were in direct competition with Mumford & Sons and Ariana, I'm not really sure how to say her name, Grandi, Ozempic user, like, I don't know what happened to her. But anyway, through Universal Music, as an independent band, The Darkness truly kicked their behinds. Rushmere, number 77 on the charts in the UK. Eternal Sunshine, number 32. I guess that sounds like Rushmere might be. Oh, it's hard to tell. I'm gonna guess Rushmere is Ariana Grande, and Eternal Sunshine is Mumford & Sons. But that was at number 32. Dreams on Toast, number 3. And then when I finally replied to him, Just Another Gamer 1985, shout out. I looked it up, and it was they were at number 2 and had been at number 1 at least for a day, long enough for it to be on the thing that I was looking at. And that was in the UK. And then when I looked to the US, it was the same. They're number 2 in the US, number 2 in the world. I don't know what they are now. Let's check that out right now. See if we can get an update while we are at it. Google, you better do right by me on this one. Dreams on Toast album ranking 2023. What? No. Jesus Christ. I don't give a shit about Metacritic. What does that even mean? Looks like a lot of people are looking at this as the album of the year, which is, yeah, I mean, I say that without having listened to any of those other albums, but I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say this is gonna be better than those. Jesus, what do I gotta say? Like the UK in the world? Let's try that. Fuck you, Metascore. Like, what the hell? Damn it! All right. Oh, here we go. Wait, I think I found it. No, that's Metacritic again. I hate you. Ugh. What do I got to write here? Anyway, they're up there. Let's just say they had a goal of being number 1, and they at least achieved that goal for one day. And I think that is pretty awesome for a band that's over 20 years old. And I think it's rare for you to come across someone that actually knows who they are. It's starting to get hard to know to meet somebody that actually knows, like, I believe in a thing called love, that's a Darkness song, because there's so many other people have sang it on YouTube, so they just think of it as like a YouTube song or something like that. So yeah, it's to not be able to come across somebody that knows who they are, and over 20 years later come out with an album that does as well as it's doing now. Like, even if it was like top 5, top 10, I'd be impressed. But man, it's going up against the names that I only know because they're that famous, like Ariana Grande or whatever the hell her name is. Mumford & Sons I know because yeah, they made a kick-ass album, that debut album. But yeah, I've never listened to an Ariana Grande song ever, but I absolutely know who she is. I know that she used to look pretty good, and now she, I don't know, looks like that lady from Fight Club, Chloe, that looked like Meryl Streep's skeleton if you made it walk around in the party being extra nice to everybody. That's what she looks like now, and it's terrifying. Yeah, those are the things of bad dreams and things you definitely aren't going to spend lonely time with. Yeah. You might become a monk. Keep looking at that. Eesh. Anyway. But yeah. So we got that Walking Through Fire. Going back to the roots and, going back to the old rock and roll. I think that works out well for him. And so he's returning. We're talking about the man of the album, essentially, like the character. And this is why I think anybody out there that is good with animation, I think you should absolutely make a movie. Like The Wall is an album that translates into a movie well. But in that, like, I don't know if anybody remembers that American Pop. It was like an old animated movie back in the 80s or 70s. I can't remember. But I thought the animation in that was that style is probably, that's what I'm thinking, that if someone's going to make this album into a movie, which they absolutely should, I think that's the style to go with. I think it'd be really cool. Because this reads, like I've been going over, this reads like a musical or at least like a story. And we go through Walking Through Fire. He's returned back to the good old days and the talent that he has, rock and roll, the thing he loves, that maybe isn't as successful as it used to be, but he's doing it now because he loves it, and he's being true to himself. And then the album ends with a reflection of a time that once was, and it's really interesting the word choice of this song, that weekend in Rome there, and it's so darkness the way that it starts off, and I was following along with this album here, that I have to hold like 3 feet away for me to even attempt to try to read, even with my glasses. What is that? Nearsighted, farsighted? Anyway. That's what it is. Getting old, man. Got a lot of things that some knowledge, some experiences I'm gonna lay on out there to all these people, so they can live their best lives, as one says, or one does. But yeah, so I was reading through this got my headphones on, just sitting, Indian style, like the good old days when you get a new album. You just kind of crouch down on the floor and just really pay attention and listen to it. And then I noticed that, because I was like, man, that sounds like David Carradine narrating in that song. And it's actually Stephen Dorff. So if you remember that guy, let me pull him up. He was in one of the best superhero movies of all time. How do you spell his name? I did spell it right. Nice. Let me see if I can get the right picture there. Oh, you bastards. Oh, there we go. Still not perfect, but anyway. Keep getting lost on my computer here. Here we go. Yeah, this guy. So, what was his name? Jesus Christ. Why do I keep thinking Quaid? That's Quaid, start the reactor. That's not right. What the hell was his name? Deacon Frost. Yeah. Yeah, so he's the guy that played Deacon Frost. So that's the narration on Weekend in Rome, and it's on the album here. And I was reading, and I was like, Stephen Dorff. Oh shit. I was like, sounds like David Carradine. But now that I know it's him, I can't unhear it. Like I know that it's him, and he does a great job. I think his voice is perfect for that song. And it's funny, but what that song is talking about is really serious, and I think that's what's really great about The Darkness is it's not just funny. It's great music, really well put together. They actually think it out thoroughly. They choose their words very wisely, and in a lot of cases they come out hilarious, but there's still a story behind it that to be told, and a lot of times I think those stories that they're telling are really serious and emotional, and there's some kind of connection that you get through The Darkness that I don't think you get through comedy bands like Steel Panther. I keep using them because I think that's like the closest representation of it. But yeah, I think this song in particular, one of the lines in this, actually I'll just read like the verses anyway. So he's like, there was turbulence in our descent as we flew in. I'd hope to witness beauty there in the ruins. Which, it's kind of like, I think it's on Last of the Kind, and he talks about this ain't no double entendre, right? So there's definitely some mixed messages going through here. So you could read this like literally. You could read this as talking about the event of meeting someone in a place that's so ancient, and you're this beautiful meeting with this person in ruins, essentially, or you could be talking about the actual area, Italy, and seeing the beauty in the ruins of this ancient place. So you could read it in a whole lot of different ways. But then when he gets into the next verse, oh man, like this hits, like it making me cry. It's so sad. Yeah. So this, I thought you'd fall for me. You didn't even stumble. took my love to the Coliseum to watch it crumble. Oh. There's a couple of people that wrote this song in particular, and man, did they write a freaking prose there, man. That is like whatever you call it. I'm not a poet, but it's poetic. It's beautiful. And it's funny because they do put that narration, and the narration does give it a very darkness, funny kind of, I don't know if it's undertone, but it's definitely there. And you kind of miss what's going on in the song. And I think that's what I love about the darkness so much, is they're so good on the surface. It's like watching a really good movie, and then 10 years later, after the 150th time that you've seen it, you're like, I don't remember this part. And you notice something. And I think that's what you get with the darkness. There's always something that you didn't notice in there. And I think this album in particular, I think, has one of the most potentials to the most potential to be the most misunderstood darkness album. And I think it's gonna do really well, but I think people are they're gonna miss a lot of it, because a lot of people, you don't get the album, you don't get the booklet. You know, I got the set. I'm so glad that I did, because I was able to have that old experience that I haven't had. And man, I can't remember the last time I bought an album that actually had like the little booklet in it. So there was a time in between going to where it was like transitioning from like CDs to only digital, and they stopped making the inside stuff. So you get like the outside box. They started making those like cardboard CD what do you call it? Jesus Christ, what is this thing? CD case. So yeah, they started making. Used to have the plastic ones, and they're had the space for the booklet, and then they started making the cardboard ones, which eventually they got rid of the little compartment for that booklet, and it was just like a little flap. And then they stopped giving you the artwork. There was no book, there's nothing. And then we switched to digital, and now that age is completely gone. And it was, I don't know, it's got to be like 15 years since I had that experience to be able to like cross my legs, sit down on the ground Indian style, and like just read the book and admire the album itself for what it was. And I had a experience with this album that I don't know if anybody else got, because when I put it into the iPod, I noticed that it actually came up like indie rock, and all of the other albums are like hard rock. So it's funny, because I wonder if they intentionally did that, or if that's like some kind of algorithm, or what AI or whatever that automatically did that. But they also, in one of the songs, was it Rock and Roll Party Cowboy, where he's like hard rock, soft rock. So I wonder if there's like, they put that much thought into it or not. And I would think that they did, because it is, there's a lot going on in this. It's clear that they planned a lot of things for this to come out the way that they did. They had the goal of getting number one on the chart. Like, that's something I heard over and over again leading up to this release. And it seems like they were really trying to orchestrate this in a way that would happen. And I think they made an album with songs for everybody. I wouldn't necessarily say the darkness is for your kids, although if I did have any, they absolutely would be Darkness fans. So just saying. But yeah, just I like seeing that before I listened to it, and then being able to sit down with basically the same. You know, I didn't have my CD player like I really wanted to, and I just didn't think about it. I should have, you know, gone to a thrift store or something and bought something, but I didn't have the time. I wanted to listen to it. So I slapped it on my iPod and got it hooked up to my headphones, and I at least had that. And then I had the album in my hand, and it was essentially the same thing, but oh man, that was like one of the best like hours of my like entertainment life in a long time, to be able to sit there and have that experience. And I'm missing some stuff on the chat here. I'm going on a rant. But we got Blow Like You Never Blow Again. I think that's a is that in reference to the girl going using those freaking flyer miles to go down on dudes in the Moai. Open Fire, One Way Ticket to Hell. I'm on a one-way ticket to hell. Not me yelling Steven Dorff, Deacon Frost at the TV. Yeah, I was shocked. I think I might have said his name out loud to myself. I was like, Steven Dorff. Like, almost like in disgust, but it was like, it wasn't. But that's the way that it came out. And then what do you got? Opening a new CD was the best. Oh yeah, it was awesome because and I'm gonna get that experience again when I finally do get a record player. So I'm gonna hopefully, I don't know what it looks like on the inside. I've got two of them. One of them is definitely going to be unopened display. So I hope I make the choice right, because I want to open the one that has like the black and red, I guess it's like leopard print or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, that one looked really freaking cool. Maybe my memory's wrong on the color, but it was definitely just like that 80s, like the pants that they used to wear. It looks like those. But yeah, opening the new CD was the best. You had a whole visual parade of album art, lyrics to enjoy. Yeah, before you ever even listen to the music. Yeah, kids today will never know, and unless they get a hold of darkness. They're out there doing the Lord's work and still making things happen. And I think they fucking nailed it with this one. And I was actually talking to a friend, and it's interesting because I agree. I think they did release essentially the hits before the album released. But like I said, the darkness is always a package deal. Like, the songs could be great on their own, but when they're in part of the album, in line back to back on the songs that they were meant to be, before and after, I think they move from great to like perfect songs, like, in the imperfect way that perfection is. And yeah, this is a great album, Dreams on Toast. There's I think one of their standout albums for sure, because they've got some albums that are just like in their own little world, even though they're still very darkness. They're very experimental and in comparison to some of the other stuff. I think they've all got their own kind of like theme and bangerness to them, because I'm trying to use the UK terminology there. But they're definitely, so there's like the darkness audience, which is, I'd say, probably fairly small when it comes to like the people that enjoy basically everything that they do. And it's not at least from my experience and the friends that I have that like the darkness, it's not like they can't do anything wrong. It's not that kind of like blind love for the band and the music. I think it's just they're really good at focusing on what they're doing and trying to do it as well as they can, even if it's not quite in the direction that is that mainstream audience, or I believe in a thing called love. All their songs are going to be like that. They're definitely not like the darkness is not focused on that. now they can, and it's clear that they can do that because they've done it before in the past with that. I believe in a thing called love. I think they've done it again here with this album in particular. Someone in the chat mentioned Open Fire. I think they did it with that fucking album too, man. I think Open Fire in particular, that if you have never listened to The Darkness or like haven't listened to them in a while, that is like one of the best songs they've ever made. And that's another sneaky one too, because it's so good that there's some lines in there that you might not quite catch until you start like reading lyrics and stuff like that. So I'll leave that to your enjoyment to find and figure out. But yeah, that's one of the, it's so good that you don't necessarily know it's a Darkness song in the meaning of like, oh, it's so Darkness. But yeah, Open Fire, I think that's a great intro to the Darkness. So if you're trying to get somebody into them, I think that's a great intro. And yeah, that album too, that's another one of the albums that's, well, all of them are, but that one in particular, it's clear it's like that comes as a package deal. And yeah, I think they crushed it. Talking to some friends, it's like I think the thing that I said is I think it'll grow on you, and I believe it because I liked it when I first heard it, but I really, really like it the more I listen to it, and that just keeps going up and up and up. Because I've been listening to this album nonstop. I've been putting it through the ringer as I do with what is this gonna pass all my tests here, which is it going to pass the sit down and listen intently to it test? It did. Is it going to pass the driving down the road in the car test? It did, which is great because when I'm on a long road trip, it is guaranteed that I will listen to like 3 or 4 hours of The Darkness, and now we're getting up to 5 or longer. Now that I know that they have so many other albums that I missed out on over the past decade. Yeah, this is so past that test. It also passed the chores test. So doing all my chores. That's one of the things. Like if I can't like do my chores and not fast forward, then it's not a good album as far as I'm concerned. And this one definitely passed that test. I'd say that it passes the test in the bedroom there, but I kind of have to still give that to Typo Negative, Peter Steele action. That's the Sexy Time song, some October Rust. So Darkness, get on it. The next album. Let's get a sex album. That would be hilarious. But I think they would do an amazing job. I think they would take it seriously, which I think they always do. I think The Darkness, as funny as they are, they're just naturally funny. I think they always take everything they do very, very seriously in the fact of like making a good song. And, with the caveat of sometimes thinking of what's the dumbest thing I can think of here. And I think that's a quote from Justin Hawkins. On an interview, I think that was for Hotcakes, and what was that? What song was that? Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. Was that the one? Fixing your hair, nothing's gonna stop us. I think it was that one. I think he was talking about that song, and he said, yeah, sometimes I just, what's the dumbest thing I can say here? And he's like, oh, there's the hook. Like, so that's how he comes up with stuff sometimes. But yeah, this is a collaborative effort. All their albums are. So that's if you have the booklet, you can actually see all that stuff. It's like what songs were written by multiple people and how much love and care goes into this kind of stuff. Because it's cool that they have their own studio essentially. I think Dan Hawkins, I think that's where the studio at his house, I think, if I remember correctly from playing catch up here. I don't know what album that started on. I think it might have been Last of Their Kind or Last of Our Kind. think that might have been on that album. When they first started using that studio. Maybe. What are the instruments they got on here? They got ukuleles, some kind of cello. Man, I can't even read that. Oh, there's a banjo. Yep, knew that. And what is that? The hell is that? Oh, that's somebody's name. It's like, what the hell instrument is an Eon Softland? Woo! Excuse me. Got allergies, bro. It's killing me. But yeah, you know, obviously you got the Hawkins brothers, but you know, Rufus has been there at least since Last of Her Kind. I think he's been there that long, the drummer. And yeah, that's just what is it? One of my friends was talking about. He's got like it's like a little paradiddle somewhere in there that I didn't catch on the hi-hat. There's some sweet hi-hat action going on. Not the hotel there. Hi-hat. I think it said hi-hat. There's some sweet hi-hat going on in the this album here, which is pretty great. And then ooh, I might have to blow my nose. And then old Frankie, I think he's been on and off, right? There's that bald dude. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, he's been there for a long time. And then let's what do we got? You're really growing on me. That's maybe one of my favorite songs to listen to. So it's kind of like The Fifth Element is like one of those movies that I can watch a million times and not get bored of it. And it's not the best movie ever made, but it's definitely one that I can always rely on. And I think that Growing on Me is certainly one of those. That's one of my favorites of all time. Definitely top 5. And then The Darkness Quenched My Thirst for hair metal with I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Oh, they still do. That album or that song is one of the best. I mean, that should be like top 10 of all time. Like, that song is great. And you know, speaking of that, because his vocal on that is ridiculous. So going to the karaoke rooms trying to hit that note, woo, you come out with some damage to your vocal cords there. So but on that note, actually I'll come back to that because there's only 2 more chats to read there. So yeah, Typo, Make Them Babies. That's right. So I think since you know, no more Peter Steele. No more Peter Steele. Unfortunately, those albums still live on, but we still have Justin Hawkins. So he can sure enough make a baby album. Maybe just call it that. Make a baby album. We need some Justin Hawkins Celine Dion collab. I would not be surprised. Like, I think that'd be amazing. So, I think he has a voice that can get into that realm there. And on that note, let me blow my nose, and then I'll say the rest of that sentence there. All right, I'm gonna mute because this is gonna be right in your earsticles. Woo! Okay. It's funny the mouth was still moving when I was blowing my nose. I think I fixed it. It's not so chattermouthy as it used to be. I had to mess with the noise gate to a extent of there's this between the freaking airplanes and the weird bassy air conditioned noise. I don't know where the hell that's come from. And it always starts like right when I get on here. It's like 7:30 or something, or 8:30 or whatever. And it starts going boom, and that's what's making that chattermouth thing going on. But I think I fixed it, so it's not as funny looking, but it's still pretty good. Oh, what is that? trash. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So on the note of the vocal range there for Justin Hawkins, this album, how do I say this without sounding like a fag? My favorite song is Weekend in Rome. Oh, God. That song is beautiful. I don't know if I said that was my favorite when I was talking about it, but it is. That is my favorite song on the album. And it's the most musical of the songs, I think, as far as like a movie musical. And the note that he hits during the last narration, whatever. But that note that he has that goes from hits, Jesus, what is going on? The note that he hits right at that narration goes from that, when he's like, Italy, it goes from like a really low pitch, then to like another range, and then he changes it again, then he changes it again, and it's all in, as far as I can tell, it's all in one go, like one breath. And then he hits that high note, that famous Justin Hawkins high note at the end of it, and it carries for like I'm not sure how long that is, but it's a really long time that he goes from, it seems like it's one breath, and I think it might be. I listened to it a bunch of times and I can't see a break in the sounds there. It's just him going up the scales there, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. But yeah, that's probably the song I've listened to the most because I was so impressed with the story, the lyrics, and that note that he hits which is really weird because it's almost like a totally different Justin Hawkins voice in that entire song in a lot of ways, I think. When he says Italy like the first time, it kind of has like that bouncing bassy tone at the end over there, and it's just it's kind of like it's up to that point, it's not clear that it's gonna have some darkness in it, and then he kind of hits that little and it's okay. He's still the very, very darkness in this. But yeah, and that song in particular, I think it's just and it kind of just ends like there's not really like a natural fade out or anything like that. It just stops essentially, and I think it was just great to end on that note. And then if you have the album kind of like on a loop there, it goes right back into Rock and Roll Party Cowboy, like, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we've gone full circle here, and I love it. Anyway, yeah, this album is fantastic. Go check it out if you haven't. They should be number one, so if you got the money, buy it. Make sure they can hit that number. If not, support them anyway. Go on their YouTube channel. I think it's called The Actual Darkness. Let me pull it up for that. But definitely go on there and click on the playlist for Dreams on Toast. And you can listen to the whole album there. But I think they would definitely appreciate it if you oh shit. Don't want that to make any noise. Playing the song here. But yeah, definitely go support their way to the top. There it goes. That's their webpage there. Check it out. They're awesome. This album's awesome. I think they did a great job, and I'm really looking forward to them hurrying up and getting done with that UK tour so they can come to the US, so I can go see them live. And then when they finish that, let them get back to work on that Making Babies Sex album. I'm looking forward to that. Make it happen. Come on. I think that's the next step for the darkness. Make a nice dark sex album. But yeah, so I guess on that note, speaking of the darkness and things that you gotta go. What is this? We need some Justin. Oh no, I read that one. Hard rock, soft rock, big party. Yeah, it's so funny. Big party. God, that I'll be shocked if that song's not number one in the U.S. At least with the rednecks. It's got to be. It's so good. Plus, it's fucking rocking. That guitar in that song is so good. It's amazing. But yeah, speaking of the darkness, it's a something that you find when you're a decade or so disconnected from everything, and you're just kind of going down some paths and drinking all the booze that you can. You start to think about some things, and one of the things that I, on my way back out into the world, started maybe noticing something. I don't know. I've got a theory going here, and I think there might be something to it. Because when I am able to notice it and move forward, I don't think I've been unsuccessful when I do notice, but it's hard to notice. So, procrastination, right? So, what I've found is that you go online and it's like I should be doing these things and I'm not. Is there something wrong with me? How do I fix this? How do I overcome that? And that's what you find. You go online and you find all this. It's always about how to overcome procrastination, or stop procrastinating. That's the big one, right? There's books, thousands, millions, probably books on this, and I think they're all wrong. Now, I'm not 100% because I'm still kind of working through this, but I don't think they're right in what procrastination actually is and what's happening. Because to me, in some of this self-exploration and working on myself and trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, and whatever that means, I don't know yet. We'll find out. But it seems like what's actually happened when you're procrastinating is that your brain, the algorithm essentially in your brain, is like doing all the math and it's putting everything together. Like, who are you now? What are the tools that you have available to you? What things do you have access to outside of yourself? What are your surroundings like? The people that you interact with, what do you have available? What are you capable of doing at that particular moment in time? What are you willing to do in that particular? I guess that kind of goes into capable, but I think it's two different things: capability versus willingness. So it puts all those things together, and it basically shows you this is the best thing that you can do to move yourself forward, even just like an inch or whatever it is. And the reason why I think that's actually what's happening is because when you're in this kind of darkness place and you're trying to figure out how do I take a step out of it, the things that don't come up as far as like when you start thinking, oh, I'm procrastinating on this, I'm a procrastinator, you typically start saying that kind of stuff when it comes to like things that you need to get done, like chores, bills, there's a doctor's appointment or something that you should be making. You haven't been to the dentist in, I don't know, a decade in my case. Thankfully, when I finally went, he said I was doing a pretty good job. So I had a little deep cleaning that needed to get done, but overall I was doing pretty well. So I was surprised. Anyway, But those are the things that tend to pop up. You don't think about the fact that you're procrastinating on things that are just completely out of the realm of you being able to do. You might get sad or envious about other people that are successful, or doing things that you wish you were doing, but you're not thinking about that in a procrastination sense, right? You're not thinking about the fact that I could do that tomorrow, but I'm not doing it because I'm procrastinating. That's not how that works. No, you think about there's a pile of laundry that I've been stepping over for the past, however long that is, depending on how much you've been drinking, which we'll get into later. Not today, different time. I don't think I have that kind of time. But yeah, so you think that you're procrastinating, or you're a procrastinator on the things that you could actually do. And I think that's actually what's happening there with procrastination. So, you don't ever procrastinate on the things that you can't do, or, aren't willing to do. Like, you might, like I said, think about those and like I'm sad about that not being a thing for me. I'm sad that I'm not a billionaire, flying myself through space on a cock rocket, with my head that looks just like my cock rocket, like making really bad versions of Lord of the Rings, spending, what did they spend, like $2 billion on a very bad TV idea that had nothing to do with the books. Anyway, like, you get envious for stuff like that. You don't procrastinate on those. You don't think of those as things that you're going to be able to do. So the other thing is, it's called procrastination, PRO, right? It's not called, uncrastination or decrastination or anything like that, whatever. It's called pro, right? And that's like proactive, like movement forward, adding to. So like, I've been thinking about procrastination as this thing of that's on my mind and it doesn't go away because I should do it. And then I do it. It usually doesn't take that long to do. So for example, the dishes, for whatever reason, I fucking hate doing the dishes, but now I do them every night. And I don't think about them. It's part of my routine. I never think about, oh no, I got to do the dishes, because I know I'm going to do them at the end of the day. I don't think about it through the rest of the day. And I've done that with essentially like all of my chores. I got this list now that I go through, a maniac with spreadsheets now when it comes to all that stuff, and where I would procrastinate on things and either never do them, or it would take me an entire weekend to get all my chores done. Now I get them done in like a couple of hours. So I can spread that out through the rest of the week, but I like to just kind of get it done in a big chunk. And I just have a checklist. I just go, and because I have a checklist, I've got a routine. I know I'm going to do them on this day at this time. I get them done very quickly. They're out of my mind. I don't ever think about them. I don't think about the fact that I got to pay bills. I don't think about the fact that I got to, do my laundry or any of that stuff, because I know that I'm going to do them. So I don't think about them anymore. So that leaves my brain open to procrastination working for me in the correct way that it does, because now it's starting to show me other things that I procrastinate on. So like making videos and, coming on here, there's so many things where I was just like, nah, I'll record a video later and post it. And, I'll do the live stream next weekend, because I didn't contact anybody to come on here and, chat with me. So it was like, oh, I don't have a guest, so I don't need to go on there. But I don't need a guest every weekend. I do need to come on here every week, not weekend, and build that habit. And then eventually this will no longer be a thought. It's not going to be procrastinating anymore, because my brain will realize, oh, okay, I don't need to remind you about this anymore, because you're doing it all the time consistently. So that's why I came in on here tonight. And fortunately, it seems like I did have something to talk about. because I talked about that album for about an hour there. And but it also got me thinking about the darkness, right? And getting oneself out of that. And I think that's what bands like The Darkness are for. Is they've got a lot of value in just good music, but I think they also have a lot of value in telling great stories and lifting your spirits, making you laugh, and I don't know if you can still be sad while listening to some of the Darkness songs. I think if you were going to listen to what was that, Dinner Lady Arms or whatever the hell that, I'm not sure what he's talking about. If he's talking about like the flappy arms that older women get or something, but I don't know if you could stay sad. So it's like, I don't know, if you're being really sad and then somebody farts, like you can't, you might still cry, but you're gonna be laughing, right? But yeah, so I think the world needs bands like The Darkness, people like The Darkness. I think that's a really great thing that we have here, is that they're still around and they're still making high quality music, and they're still very much The Darkness, and I'm grateful for that. And that kind of what I would like to do through this channel and the Hard on Reviews channel. I take it very seriously. That's why it takes me so long to write a script and get the videos out on the other channel, because I want them to be good. I may be perfectionist there, but I know when it's time to stop and post it, which I think is maybe a difficult thing for a lot of people. It was definitely a difficult thing for me in the past with basically everything I ever did was not pulling the trigger. Because I don't think that's necessarily right, because I feel like pulling the trigger is getting started. It's the, what it is? It's, if we want to use the same analogy there of the guns, it's like pulling the trigger and following the kill and making sure that you got it, taking it back to the camp, skinning it, putting it over the fire, cooking it and eating it. Like, I think that last part of making a meal out of it and actually enjoying the meal, I think that's really the thing that people are missing. I don't think people have as much trouble pulling the trigger as they do eating their meal. And I think that kind of goes along in the lines of procrastination there. I don't think that's because if you're not thinking about it, you can't procrastinate on it. But if you are thinking about it, you can procrastinate on it, which means you can do it. And I think you should. I think if something's coming up there top of mind, that's the thing you should do as soon as possible. Get it out of your head, so your brain can work its magic and get the next good thing for you in there. You just got to keep doing it. So anyway, I think that's about it for me tonight. Kind of felt pretty good to talk about the album there. Like I've been really enjoying it, and it sounds like a lot of people out there have been enjoying it as well. What is this? Oh yeah, I destroy the things you enjoy. I love that fucking line. Every time I hear that line, that song, if they ever remake like fucking Iron Man or something, like they should do an intro to that movie playing that song where Tony Stark is just like in hot tubs with a bunch of chicks and like doing blow and drinking his face off and punching police officers, and then I destroy the things you enjoy, when that line comes in there, that's when he's like shooting off a fucking rocket that's like a nuke or something, like, and he's like smiling or something. That's how I imagine that song. It's fucking awesome. And like that's how you start a fucking movie right there. You play Rock and Roll Party Cowboy for Tony Stark. And you got with a pool boy in my That's one of those, what's the dumbest thing I could say here? Darkness moments. Oh, man. Was that, and how he says, what does he say? Snake bite? Snake a bite. Or something. He says it really weird. Like he's trying to be, like, he's trying to not sound British or something. Like, oh, man. God, I love this fucking band. They're so great. Yeah, keep making music, man. Come to the US. I gotta see you. And I think that's gonna be it for me tonight. So don't let your meatloaf. Thank you all for coming out.
Mailman podcast coming to you. Man coming to you. Talking about Minister Phony Internet. If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman podcast coming to you. Man coming to you. Ooh.